This is, in my opinion, probably just one of the best tracks in the OST, which is saying a lot because I love most of the OST for Final Fantasy 15, but this one is just so good, I can't even. It is fantastic. Alright. Well, hello everybody, my name is Spencer, or Ashen Prime, whichever you prefer to go by. Normally Ashen Prime is more appropriate. And as the title of the stream says, I'm going to be attempting something kind of odd for me. Not really odd for me. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And I'm going to be playing the Pitioss dungeon in Final Fantasy 15 and attempting to kind of sort of speedrun it. We'll see how that goes. Do have... Boop. I have a full... I've been told that this is what speedrun layouts look like. I don't know. I kind of just built it on my own based on what I thought would look good. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Now I know, again, looking at the title right here, boop. You might note that this is not any form or an any percent type of run that we're doing, because the enter percent for Pitioss is like a minute and a half, and it's some really cool tech, but I find it actively boring, because Pitioss is such an interesting and intriguing dungeon to run. So I'm doing what I'm calling, until somebody tells me otherwise, I'm calling it all rooms, which means, as it sounds, I'm going to go through every room in the dungeon. Not exactly the path that the developers intended. I do have, you can see I have the daggers equipped. They're really good for, because the daggers, when you attack with them, there's just a little bit of forward momentum there. They're really good at getting you a little bit of extra speed there. Other things that I have equipped that maybe I shouldn't, I have the stamina badge equipped, which allows you to run indefinitely without reducing your stamina bar, which is not necessarily a good thing. I don't know. There is some tech that you can do. I know that the major skip to get just immediately to the end of the dungeon uses the fact that when you... stamina. Stamina is interesting in this game. When you run out of it, or when you get near the end of it, if you hit the button at the right time, you can refill your stamina bar. And the animation when you do that also gives you some extra forward momentum that you wouldn't have otherwise. So it's used, and so that fact is used a lot to, I'm going to need you to just move out of the way there, to help, again, get you just a little bit of extra speed. I'm not going to use any of those tricks, mostly because I don't know them. Oh, that's not where I wanted that to go at all. Come back here, you. Yeah, mostly because I don't know them. And I'm going to resize my screen a little bit here because I have changed my layout of my office a little bit. And I'm down one screen and haven't replaced it yet. So I have too many things on this one screen. It's not great, but oh well. Yeah, I haven't ever practiced that, so I don't know how to accomplish any of those kind of tricks. So I'm not going to. I'm going to run this, I just kind of my usual. This is the way that I normally go through it. So here we go. We lost the boys, and I'm going to start my timer in 3, 2, 1, go. Did it go? It didn't go. Why didn't you go? I don't know. I don't live split often, apparently. Okay. So I lost a bit of time to that, but that's fine. Let's actually... I can reset. That's not difficult to do. I just reload the save. Go ahead and load the Monster of the Deep save, which is not the proper name of this. Reset. That's the button I wanted. Okay. Settings. Make sure that these are set as global hotkeys. That's what I need to see. Okay. Great. And save that. That will help a little bit, probably. Again, this is like my first time ever trying to speedrun anything. Yeah, I'm going to call it that. There's been some testing that I've done of Final Fantasy 15 before. It wasn't archived and doesn't exist as far as anyone else is concerned. Alright, let's try this again. In 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. That's much better. So the first thing I'm going to do is skip over all of that so I don't have to go through it again. I'm going to come over here and go through here. Now, one thing that I might do is, or might do a little bit differently this time than I normally do, is as I was looking up how to spell the word Pitioss, I found a video of somebody completing the dungeon in a similar style, but it only took them 6 minutes. And so I might still a few... Oh, nope, I'm just going to fail that entirely. That's not great, actually. I think I might have just screwed myself over.
C'est trop bizarre.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. This is not the way I'm supposed to do this at all. And in fact, yeah, you know what? No. We're going to reset again. Because there's no reason doing this. I was trying to get too big for my britches. The guy who the video I saw of a guy completing it in 6 minutes skipped some things that I don't want to skip, but also skipped some things that I want to try and incorporate in the future. But I'm going to have to practice them first, and this is not the time to do that. I mean, theoretically, it could be the time to do that. But I want to get a baseline first, and that's what this run is going to be. So, ignoring everything I've seen elsewhere, I'm going to run this the way that I run the dungeon, which may include a lot of swearing, or at least just being angry at the game and the controls. Because guess what? Boop. Final Fantasy 15, not really great to control. It's not... It's okay to control, but it's not the best game in the world as far as character control goes. So oh, missed it. Dang it. I wonder if I can get over that with the daggers. I don't know. I'll have to test that sometime in the future. I know I can get over this one with the daggers, but I don't want to. Okay. So I am going to ride this up. I also might go out of my way in this run to get rid of a few of these faces, as I'm going to call them. They may have a more... they may have an actual name as given to them by the developers, but I just call them the faces. Did I just miss that entirely somehow? I did. Okay, well, screw that. We're going to go ahead then and do the backup for that area, which is over here. Also, I'm in French right now because I'm not tired of the French voice actor saying cake baby, but I'm really tired of the English voice actor saying cake baby. Kind of hate it. Okay, let's maybe not miss this button this time. I don't know how I missed it the first time, honestly. Okay. And now we go back up. Let's talk a little bit as I'm thinking about... Actually, no, I can go just straight up these stairs here. As I'm thinking about it, talk a little bit about why I've decided to run or call what I'm doing all rooms. Obviously, like I said, there's an any percent that uses the sprint mechanic and and the daggers to just completely skip by most of the dungeon, because the ending to the dungeon is just like right over here. It's really nearby, but it's just out of reach. But if you, like I say, exploit those two things that give you added distance, you can complete the dungeon really quickly. This is not that, obviously. This is like see, there's my first fall. The any percent doesn't even go into this room at all because it doesn't need to. The any percent doesn't need to do anything more than the first couple of rooms. So I'm already off of the any percent route. So what other options then are there for the route? Well, there are... bollocks. I don't think I can get back up. Nope. There are certain things that could be considered as really? Maybe I shouldn't be trying to talk and run at the same time. but I don't care. I'm going to blather at the camera. This is not a jump I've ever missed before. This is upsetting, personally. Okay, that's better. This is a jump I miss sometimes, as evidenced by the fact that I missed it earlier. But I was not surprised to have missed it earlier, because sometimes I just miss it. I don't know if this is faster than dying and going back out, but I'm going to go this way around. This jump coming up, actually, is one that always freaking gets me. If I get this on the first try, I will be ecstatic. If I don't, I will not be surprised. Yep. Anyway, so completion items. What? Because initially I kind of wanted to try like 100% Pitioss, but what would that look like? Would that be picking up all of the items in the dungeon? Well, no, because there's way too friggin' many of them, and that's just a chore at that point. That's not even fun. Okay. Nope, missed it. There's a trick to this, and sometimes I can get it on the first try. Like once in my life I've gotten it on the first try, and other times it takes, well, more time. So yeah, they, where was I oh yes, completion. So there's a lot of items that could be picked up. Dang it. But that just seems like a tedious chore fest and not fun. There are these paths that you've seen I've interacted with to take the to move the puzzles onward, and my route will actually hit most of those paths. Ha, got it. But there are like 3 or 4 paths that are just kind of out of the way and annoying to get to, and they only exist to open up a treasure chest, and I don't care enough about those paths to get them. So I don't really want to do an all pads run, or all whatever you want to call these. I call them the pads. I'm going to continue calling them pads, even though that sounds like a women's hygiene thing. Don't care. All sigils, I guess. I don't know. One of the things, brief aside, one of the things I want to get better at is controlling Noctis in these cutscenes, because, oh, balls. You still have full control of him when the camera cuts to these things. I just don't have confidence in my skills to control him. Getting past here. I hate this room. This is one of my least favorite rooms. Which is interesting, because there is a way to skip all of the side rooms. But if I skip all of the side rooms, I also skip some of the rooms that I like. And I don't really want to do that. Alright. Boop. Boop. You'll notice I've gotten a bit quieter because, again, I hate this room, so I need to kind of concentrate. Okay. So where are we? We're like 2 tangents in. This is one of my favorite rooms, actually. I kind of like it. Oh! Not when I do that, though. I don't think... Oh, yeah, no, I made that just fine. Okay, good. We're 2 tangents in. Where was I? Oh, yeah, the rooms. Okay, this is one of my favorite rooms. Going back to the first tangent. Control in cutscenes. We have it. I don't trust my control of... This is one of the spots where I'm skipping using those... the daggers that I mentioned earlier. Going on back now. You can control in cutscenes. I just don't trust myself yet to do that, and that's one thing that I want to do is gain the personal trust in myself and my skills to control Noctis during the cutscenes, because otherwise at the moment I just kind of stand stock still during them, which is not helpful. This jump is tricky. Alright, enough about cutscenes. This jump, I still failed. Dang. Whoop. Oh, I made that one. Nice. And then we were talking about categories. So again, items. There's like that item in that corner there. Oh, nope, nope. Oh. It's just out of the way and annoying, and there are other items and other just random corners. There are paths that you can go down that don't progress the dungeon at all. They're just there to collect extra items. Items are grindfest. All paths, again, there are just that couple. Honestly, there's just a couple that are out of the way, so it wouldn't be too terrible to have an all paths category. I just don't want to. All faces. There are also these faces, like you saw I got earlier, to open up a shortcut / path to make it so that as you continue to fail at the puzzles, you can get back to them easier without having to start completely over at the beginning. Now, I think... Nope. I'm never sure how to actually get that jump. I've obviously gotten it on multiple occasions because I finished Pitioss on multiple occasions, but I'm never entirely sure how I do it. It's honestly surprising to me. So yeah, all faces could be a thing, but again, there are some faces that are out of the way and exist. Honestly, they exist in spots where you go just to collect items, and then they get you back on the right path, and that's, again, an annoyance that I don't want to go out of the way to do. So I've just decided to do what I call all rooms. The other possible name I thought for it was intended route or something similar, the developer intended route, except that it's not, because again, I'm using... Even currently, I'm using the daggers and to kind of exploit some places and skip some bits that I'm sure the developers don't want skipped. Dang it, nearly there. All right. And so again, all rooms. I go into every single one of the rooms, and I don't necessarily complete them the way the developers wanted them, but I do complete them. All right. Let's try something different, maybe? Oh. There it is. Ha. Got it. Now don't choke at the end and we should be fine. Boop. That's explosive. Alright. This room is interesting. It used to be one of my least favorites just because it's so long, but I've recently started doing things that make it just a little bit nicer. Let's see if I can line this up properly. I don't think I'll get this on the first try, but we'll see. Oh, okay. It's alright, there's another way to do it. No, missed that. Let's wait for the next one. If I just kind of power down this way, I actually get a little bit closer, which will help. So we're just going to sit here and wait on the cycle, which is, you know, kind of an anathema to speedrun, but oh well. Right here. Too low. So I am gonna... I'm not going to go the intended route because it's just so long. I am definitely going to try and get this skip. It's just one that I only recently started working on, so it might take me a little bit. Ah, dang. Too short. The, Ah, no. I had a thought. There was a train of thought before I came into this room, and I don't remember what it was. Was it still about category? No, I don't think so. Although this is a perfect example of why going with all rooms rather than intended route. There we are. See that? That's how I want that skip to go all of the time. Now I need to just not mess up. This room, this is part of the reason why this room is kind of a love-hate relationship for me, because it has that really interesting skip there that sometimes I can pull off and other times I can't. And it also has parts where you just kind of have to sit and wait, because I haven't personally found a good way to skip past them. That's not to say that there aren't ways to skip past them, but I haven't personally found them. To skip past them and still finish the room. Like I say, I saw that video earlier of a guy who just completely skipped past several rooms, including this one, but also just like half of the dungeon that way. Not the entire dungeon, like the 80% route, but a good chunk of it, which was just more dungeon than I want to skip. Alright. Now here is where I have choked in the past by forgetting that I have to jump here. Boop. Grand. Boom. That's just the fastest way out of there. We'll give this a second to come back. This is why I'm bad at a speedrunner. or as a speedrunner. I guess bad is not the right word. Inexperienced. Spend a lot of time waiting. Let's see if I got that. Haha, I did. Great. Alright, so this room. The edgelord room, as I like to call it, because good heavens, that's just trying a bit much hard there. There are 2 faces in this room that open up shortcuts for if you die. And I will be opening them both because I am bad at... Ah, dang it. Almost had that. Because I don't trust myself to not just choke sometimes. Perfect. Now I do have to wait for it to come back, but I have skipped a good portion. Like, good 5 or 6 minutes of stuff here. I don't know, I've never actually timed it. As soon as I found this skip, I've just always used it. But make no mistake, that is a skip. This is not a portion of the level you're supposed to be at yet. And then I missed that as well. So we'll just kind of sit here and wait for it to come back. Boop. And then I missed this as well, and we have to sit here and wait for it to come back. There's a lot of sitting and waiting for this stupid thing to move. Which I assume is why people have tried to skip this room, because it is just slow, but it's one of my favorites just visually. I know it's like super supreme tryhard edgelord, but come on. It's a giant skull with glowing spikes. There's something cool about that. Appeals to the inner 12-year-old. Alright, so this is not the correct path. Not entirely the correct path. It's close to. But this is so that I can open this door so that if I fall, which I have done multiple times in the past, I can just pop back through there and not have to do that whole thing again. Eventually, again, as I hopefully continue to improve upon this run, I won't have to open any of those doors. Any of the faces. Face doors? Face doors. Good, they have a name now. But I'm not currently at that point. It's a spot where going into first person might be helpful. We do have a first person mode available in the Royal Edition, which I think changes some of the dynamics of this dungeon. But again, not a thing I've practiced with. I'm used to running this in third person, so I don't really want to mess up myself right now. This is harrowing because of that fall and roll, the tuck and roll that he does. It might just throw him off an edge for no good reason. But also because it's right in front of the door, and if I failed there, I would be so annoyed. Which again, thing I've done. And it's very annoying to just kind of choke right at the end. I say right at the end. There's still a bit more of this room to go as we wait for this giant moving thing to come closer. Because it's the centerpiece of this room, and gosh dang it if they're not going to make you crawl all over it, and in it, and up it. And then above it, using scary rusted scaffolding. Which just begs the question, if we're having to climb over rusted, broken scaffolding to get through this, how did the original tenants of this building, when it was newly built and before it was dilapidated, how in the world did they get through? Because this can't have been the correct way. Alright, there we are.
Comment je fais pour revenir?
That's a door that I'd never open, mostly because it's really out of the way. But we're now in the twisted rooms. I'm just realizing that I have not been keeping up with my splits at all. Like, at all. It just goes to show how practiced I'm not at this whole speedrunning thing. Because I'm just kind of going and not paying attention to the fact that I'm supposed to be timing things. Also, my timer has stopped. My timer appears to have stopped. That's nice. come over here. That is a fail. What is going on, timer? Okay. Since timer has stopped... Oh, just entirely frozen. Great! No, don't do the thing. Okay, well, everything is frozen on that end. So we're just going to come here. Boop. Yep, I'm going to have to manually just close that out. Make that go away. End that task. You can sit here and listen to this amazing music as we go, though. Which is The Omen, I think? I don't remember what the name of this track is. I know where it's used. This is used in the Omen trailer, but I don't actually remember what it's called. Yes, Shinif. My live split froze entirely, which is slightly annoying, because it's the second time it's done that today. But it has been asking for an update that it wasn't downloading, so I'm just going to really quickly automatically manually download that. That there. Open up my live split and make sure that I have my splits and my layout saved, so I don't have to rebuild those on the fly, because that would just be annoying. No. Okay. Layout. Make sure my layout is saved. And my splits. I have my splits. Okay, great. Exit out of that. Run the new downloader, or run the new installer that I just downloaded. However, that makes sense. Where do you exist? Current thing of live split. Open file location. That's not what I want at all. Alright, so it is in the program folders. That's not what I need. Go back. That's not it either. This is what I want. Alright. Register.exe, core host, blah, 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 blah. This is just the actual bits of everything. Alright. So let's uninstall current version. Current version doesn't have an install in that thing. That makes sense. So let's go this the hard way. Program files. Live split. Let's drag and drop all the bits. And replace the files. New. Continue. Alright. New install of live split. Go ahead and run that. No longer asking for an update. That's good. Let's open the Pitioss splits from file. Great. Alright. That's got us here and here and there. So we can go ahead and pop back into the speedrun. And the right size. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay, great. And reload the file. Because why not start over? It's fine. Everything is fine. All right. Okay. As we wait for this to load. No, we'll just sit here waiting for this to load. It'll be fine. Try splitting before. Just in general, just try remembering to hit the split before I hit the trigger, or before it freezes on me again. I will try and remember my splits this time, that's for sure, sure and certain. Alright, here we go. Boop. Nope. Boop. I see what you meant now. Try splitting before I actually start the thing. That would have been a good idea. But I'm in the middle of it now, and, well, my fingers are already taking me through the room, because that's what they're used to doing. Boop. Another thing I should be doing, just in general, because it's Final Fantasy 15, is I should be jumping rather than running, just because jumping is always faster. If I can hit the friggin' button. There it is. But sometimes I forget that jumping is faster because I like to run. Let's get my chat where I can see it better. Whoop. Oh, just missed that jump. Just missed that jump entirely. Why not? That's definitely what I wanted to see there. Or have happened to myself there. Okay, I am not actually in a useful position at the moment. Come here, friend. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. I want to be down here. This is not where I want to be. Okay. This is not where I expected to end up after that. It's where I should have expected to end up after that, but that is not where my brain assumed that I would be. Okay. I need to come through here. Wait for that to close. Come through here. They'll say that like 7 times through here, and it's kind of annoying. Especially because they use the same exact take on all of them.
Je fais quoi maintenant?
Boop-a-doo. Okay, here we are. I haven't been able to open that up because I... Oh wait, no, that did open for me. Alright. Go back up these stairs now. The second time today that I've had to go through that backup thing because I just missed the friggin' jump. Which is just my own darn fault entirely. I can't skip splits. That's right, I do have that. I did set up that hotkey. I just forgot that it existed. Alright.
Ah, d'accord.
Stepping on his back is actually trickier than one would expect. That's part of the... that weird camera pan there is part of the reason why I don't currently or feel comfortable controlling Noctis in the cutscenes. Because they're just... The weird whip around just completely messes up with actual control.
Voilà.
Alright, let's see how many tries this takes me. Also, let's split, because I meant to do that during the cutscene, honestly. Boop. As I think I was at 3 or 4 tries in the last run. Let's see if I can beat that at least. Or if it's worse this time somehow. Nah. Nah, I'm gonna do it first try right here. Whoop. Ah, well, okay, maybe second. Ah, no, don't fall. Don't fall. Get up on top. Okay, just fall. That works too. Oh, and I missed this. Let's stop. So there are 4 openings on this ball. It does, doesn't it? I feel like I'm already doing better this time. There are 4 openings on this ball in the 4 cardinal directions, and one of them, one of them will actually stop as it gets the apex of the turn, and At this point, it's more luck than anything if I happen to end up on that cycle. Because I'm not at all paying attention.
Ça fait quoi?
Alright, that is where I want that split to be, just as soon as I hit that. Oop. Or did I want that to be up here after I hit this? Well, that's fine. Oh, nope, that's a fall. I also need like a fall counter, but that seems like it would just be demoralizing. So maybe no fall counter. And over here. And this one's kind of annoying that we have to come all the way down here to then turn around and come back up. But that's where the pad is that opens the door that gets me through here. Alright. Not entirely sure why that one waits so long before getting out of the way. But it's kind of annoying. Now, I was able to get this room first try last time, which is not actually that difficult if I don't mess up. Like that. This is honestly the hardest part of this room, is waiting for all three of those spike mashers to get out of the way. Then sitting here and waiting for the right moment to go without tripping and falling, because if you trip and fall there, which I'm not entirely sure what the yeah, like that, you do the combat roll. I'm not entirely sure what the fall height has to be to get him to get Noctis to do that. But if you do there's just not enough recovery time before you get mashed. Alright, over into the next room, which again, one of my favorites. I like this room. Mostly because I feel like I'm really good at it. Like I feel like I have a really solid understanding of this room and getting through it quickly. Oh! And then I do that. And then I get overconfident and something like that happens. I don't know. It could also just be because when I first ran this game, this seemed like just such a strange space and was kind of a lot. It was a bit frightening for me at the time, but now I just kind of breeze through it unless I get cocky. Don't get cocky, kid. Because Han Solo quotes are the best quotes. Nearly missed that. That would have been sad. And now we have to get through this again and see if I can actually make this jump. Because I am not confident in this jump at all. It always feels more like luck than actual skill here, which means that it's probably just something I need to just... Nope. Something I just need to work on again and again and again and just kind of grind away at it. Get it once, go back, do it again, go back, do it again. But it's not the kind of thing I want to do at the moment. Or ever, honestly. Repetition is not a thing I enjoy. I was bad at those in math class when they're like, okay, here's the thing. Now do it 50 times to get it ingrained in your head. I'm like, that is not fun. I would much rather not. Ooh. There we go. Alright, now side rooms, which is my next split coming up. I'm not entirely sure if I want it to be as I hit the pad in this room and the door opens, or if I want it to be as I hit the floor in the skull room. I think I want it as I hit the floor in the skull room, hit the checkpoint for the next area. Because even though you can't see them, there are obviously checkpoints based on where it's respawning me after I fall. Ah, just a bit late there. Oh, a bit late down that one as well. There's a trick, because after you run so far, you can't jump anymore. There it is. Maybe it's the camera angle is my trick there. Can I make this? Ah, I can, but then I ran into spikes, and now I have to start all over. So maybe I don't do that one again. Okay. Oh, see, there. I hit the jump button, but didn't jump because I was already falling. So I had to make sure that I hit the jump button in time to not just fall to my death. And by death, I mean to my respawn, which isn't an actual death. Oh, that was too late. Or too early, actually, I think. This is the kind of trick that I wonder if it would be easier in first person. Let's find out. Why not? We have that technology. So I'm doing a running jump here. Nope. Nope. I need to be able to see the model, personally. Maybe for somebody else who's more used to first person, this would be good for them, but I need to see the character model to be able to land them properly. Let's go. No, no! Oh, I had it. I had it, and then he backstepped for some reason. There's a lot of that in the movement animations. It's just, and then he did this for some reason, which is part of why Pitioss is so annoying. Is because the movement animations sometimes are just like, I don't know why that's happening now. It was too late. I was already below it when I hit the button. Now at this point it probably would have been just as fast to go through the whole thing, but this is a trick I really want to get, so I don't care. And somebody is phoning me. Well, I'm afraid they're gonna have to wait. Where are you? Oh, no. My screen is not where I can actually see it at the moment, so never mind. Ah, that one was too early. Yeah, maybe aiming for the slope is the right idea. Ah, that is a great idea. I like that. Thank you. Shenif in our chat room, who suggested the slope. I like that idea, and I'm probably going to continue using that, because that is actually an easier target than the...
Oh, putain!
Than the flat surface that is slightly difficult to get up to. At this point, this room is still much longer, but I should not... I shouldn't say anything, honestly, because that's just invoking Murphy, but... At this point, it's fairly straightforward, so even though it's a bit elongated, it's not actually difficult. Whip. Boom. Alright. See, I think I am gonna take my next split as I land on the other side of this door. Ah, nope. Nope. Oh, I fell. This door is deceptively difficult. Boom. There. Nice. Oh, 13 minutes in already. Good heavens. Hello there. Goodbye. Very nice. And now wait for another back and forth, because it does have to go back and forth. Oh, no, let's get off now. There. That'll save me a cycle if I go fast enough. Alright. Let's not do the door. I haven't needed it for the last several times I've run this, so I want to try and go just that little bit faster that I'll get without it. Oh, nope. Well, at least I don't need the door still. But got a little bit ahead of myself on that jump. Somebody is continuing to try and call me right now when I'm obviously not available. 1 second. Alright, got up there using first person just because the camera angle is weird in that space. Oh, nope, and I missed that entirely, so we're going to be another cycle waiting for this to come forward and back. Nope, keep running. I'm just going to pop over here and fiddle with some stuff. Don't fall, don't fall. Alright. And down here. And then we're up over to here, which is on top of the everything. Oop. And then some tightrope walking, because why not? Up here, over there, up some more. Again, this can't be what the original architects intended. But somebody definitely put a giant grate between. Now you'll notice a lot of times I go onto these smaller things, I try and go into the wall just to minimize the amount of movement Noctis can do. Again, because of that combat roll that he just randomly does sometimes. Like there. I like to do it into the wall so that I don't...
Ça fait quoi là? Comment je fais pour revenir?
So that I don't have to worry about him rolling off the edge. He'll just roll into the wall instead, which is safer. Alright. Now this is a prime example of a spot where jumping would probably be faster than anything else I could do. Except the tilt. The tilt kind of messes with the angles here a bit. Alright, so let's come up here. Here. Across to this guy. Who we then take across to this guy. Who we then take down to here. The angles are just so strange here. And it's mostly trial and error and just having a good memory of whether or not you can land on a certain surface and walk it. Come up here and over there, which then leads us over to here. These tendrils are just so much fun. Alright, and then we come straight up here, see if I can walk in a straight line. Sometimes I can. I'm also not sprinting here because it's just sometimes too dangerous. Not always too dangerous, but sometimes too dangerous. This is the kind of area where, whoop, okay. Eventually I want to be more confident in my ability to move through and do it at much higher speeds, but at the moment, I'm not. Also worth noting, I am playing this currently on keyboard and mouse, just because that's how I play my Windows edition of Final Fantasy XV. which is slightly dang, slightly more difficult to control than with a controller. I guess slightly different to control. I don't know that more difficult is the correct phrase to use there. But because it's digital movement rather than the analog of a thumbstick, it is just that little extra bit of trickery needed. But I sunk 200-ish hours into the Windows Edition with keyboard and mouse, so controlling it isn't as much of an issue for me personally, just because that's what I've practiced, so I know how to do. But it's not the simplest thing in the world. A lot of this, obviously, is me just holding W and moving the mouse around, which is its own brand of tricky. And whereas with the two sticks, there's just, I feel like from my time spent playing the original version on PS4, controller is slightly simpler, and I could get a controller hooked up and do that, but I've got all my keys bound exactly the way that I want them, and I'm used to it now, and I don't want to, is the long and short of it. I don't want to. Okay, so that's not the way. It is definitely supposed to be down there. I just have to actually land this. There it is. And then go down here, I believe. You'd think that I would remember all of the bits, but I don't. Ah, we're here. We're here already. This is probably my favorite part of this whole friggin' ridiculousness that is Pitioss. Because it's like, we're making a platformer. Well, it doesn't look like a platformer. Okay, but how about now? Now does it look like a platformer? Just for some reason, they're just like, no, it's 2D now. Because why not? Jump over that one, but fall down this one. Again, good memory in knowing which holes are endless and which ones aren't. Like here, I could go up this piston and take for freaking ever because it's actually a really difficult space, or I can just fall down and it's fine. Also, I should get closer to that wall because even though it looks like a 2D platformer, I'm still in 3D space and can just walk off the front edge. Or the back edge in this case. And boop. Wait, I have to know. No, does not let you go into first person here. Gonna go just a little bit slower here, otherwise that happens. Dang it. Beep, beep. Boop. Combat roll. Like this one. This one is a bottomless pit. But this one is not. Boop. Although it does do a good amount of damage. And then we ride up, down, and go underneath, because that's actually the faster route. Because after I was picking Pitioss up, or going through Pitioss again, after several months of not having had anything to do with it, and I rolled that piston up, and it took me 20 minutes to get through the puzzle on that end. That was annoying. So maybe I split too soon here, but I don't actually care. I want this to be its own split. Even though it only takes me a couple of minutes to get through, where some of the other rooms have longer splits because they take a little bit longer. And I mentioned earlier, during the first run of this, make sure I triggered the tilty, that I very recently found an actually old video of a person completing the dungeon in 6 minutes, which is slower than the current any %, but much faster, obviously, than anything I'm doing here. And he had some amazing skips going through this room that I want to incorporate in the future, but at the moment, I'm going to take this in the way that I know how, which does not include those massive skips. should include those. Again, like I say, in the future, I definitely want to practice and learn those. But at the moment, I'm doing this more or less the intended way, because that's the way that I know how. And that's the way that I'm practiced in. Although there is a lot of bit of waiting around for things to tilt in just the right direction so that I can walk up them. Quite there yet. There we are. Or down them, as the case may be. Jump over here, and walk down this. Then we walk over here. And we jump right there. Yes, that is where you are intended to jump. And boy howdy. This is not quite where I want this split to be yet. Because I need to not fall off of her, which I have done before. And is annoying, because then you have to redo all of that room. But this... Oh! That's a thing I'd never done before. That's fun. Grand. Well, I'm definitely glad I held back on the split then. I kind of felt like that was going to happen, though, when I jumped and I wasn't square. I was like, that's probably not going to work, is it? Which is just unfortunate. It's unfortunate when you can feel that you're about to just fall. No, no, no! Dang it. Alright, we're on our third try now. The first one was good right until the end. That second one, I have no idea what happened. This one, though, this one will get us there. And life will be good. Just about 30 minutes already. Which is... my personal unofficial goal is to get this lower than 30 minutes. And I'm sure that even then it will be able to go much, much faster. Eventually. But yeah, my personal goal at the moment is just below 30. Which I'm not going to get with this run, obviously. And once I... and I am going to spend some time, like I say, seeing what other tricks are out there. There's not been a lot of movement on this as far as I can tell. I haven't done a lot of looking, so maybe I'm completely wrong. But there doesn't seem to have been a lot of movement or a lot of work on Pitioss after the any % got down under 2 minutes. I know Kios Little Monster currently does the any % route as part of his Omega % for the full game. Because he, as part of that Omega, he wants to have Pitioss completed. But it... oh, be centered there. Great. And that land is where I want the room to end. And then we take the elevator up into what I'm going to dub the scaffold room, because why not? That's basically what it is. I don't believe you can skip that cutscene. I don't believe you can skip any of the cutscenes. Mostly because that wasn't a cutscene. And none of them are cutscenes, they're just camera changes. And now this scaffolding bit... is it fair to call this my least favorite area? My least favorite room? Yeah, I think it is. I quite dislike this. For multiple reasons, one of which is that I'm just not good at it. One of which is that pretty much every time I pick this up, I forget what the freaking route is up here and have to relearn it all again. That's part of it, is just randomly walking on the wrong spike and slipping off and falling into the endless void. Which is just not fun for anybody. So yeah, this area is probably my least favorite in the game. I think that's fair to say. Or in the dungeon. Nope. Just completely off. Really, I shouldn't be doing any jumping up there. There's like 2 or 3 gaps that I have to jump over, and otherwise they should all just be a walk off onto the edge. Just because that's safer. Theoretically, some of these spots I might be able to skip a jump or use the daggers to move a little bit farther, faster. Like this onto Ifrit's back. Deceptively tricky. This one's just stupid. Look at how close I am to the edge there. If you're not careful, you will just go over the edge, and then life is pain. But that has me mostly through. There's still a couple of spots that I can slip up and die. But for the most part... Okay, now I believe I'm safe. And yeah. Boop. Same room. I need a better name for this space. I call it the same room because I'm going through the first and second rooms again, only in a completely different area of them. Going above and around, and kind of the reminds me of those people who build cat tracks around the ceilings of their houses for their cats to play on. That's kind of the area of the space that we're exploring at the moment. But I couldn't come up with a good name for it. So, any suggestions would be great. It feels like you're responding with a momentum and move in the direction you died, and maybe that could be used. Probably, actually. That's intriguing. See, now I'm just considering, where would that be useful? Where are all the checkpoints? And are there any places in those checkpoints that would get me some skips that still stick into the all rooms idea / category / whatever it should be called. And now one thing I am also noticing is I'm using this chibi Noctis skin because I like it. But it is so much bigger than the actual Noctis skin that it's actively kind of difficult. Okay, now this is a spot that I'm definitely opening up, and also this spot over here. Oh, that one's already open. I couldn't remember if I had gotten that this run or not. I thought I hadn't, but oh well. Because I have a tendency to just kind of fail this section a lot. And it's kind of painful. Oh, like that. This part is another part like the room with the spinny spikes, where it used to be a thing that I just beat my head against often. Oh, yeah, right, I can just make that jump. I forgot about that. But in that beating my head against it often, that meant that I went through it quite often and got better at it, and now I kind of like it. This area is becoming one of those as well. I'm not as good at it yet. I'm not helped by the fact that, again, I'm not always certain what Noctis is going to do. This is probably the most annoying part of this, is that I have to jump onto here, which is fine. And then I have to get onto this little area and jump over here and land it and stay there, but I fell off, so that's not helpful. You have to stay on there in order to continue. And I fell off, which means I have to go up and around, which is part of the reason why I opened that face door. Because I knew, just from previous experience, that I probably wasn't going to get that first try. Which means going back up and around, and up again, and here, over to there, over to here, a couple steps forward and over to there, then down here, and hopefully not failing this one, over here, here, no. So part of the reason why the end bit of this is so annoying, because the spikes here just take me back to the top of that ramp, which is fine. The end bit over here, if I fall down, as you saw, I respawn clear down there in that room, which is a ways away from where I need to be, because I need to be here, And then up here. And then I've tried to get that with the daggers and all on multiple occasions, and I just can't. Maybe I just need more practice, I don't know. But the only way I've ever been able to land on this platform is from that pad that I fell off of on the first try. Then we come up here, and then we hit this button, and that is going to be my split for this area. I'm still in the same room, but I consider this kind of the finish line. I'm within 2 or 3 buttons of the end. No, please don't. I did anyway. Okay. Oop, okay. Come up here. We come over here. Nope, I failed that. I need to jump straight across, not at an angle. I went at an angle again, and then I fell off. What you are seeing, if you catch it out of the corner of the screen as I fall, is those plate. There's a plate down there that's lit up. That's the one I mentioned that's out of the way. And oh no, I just didn't even jump at all there. That's fun. That's the one that's out of the way and difficult to get to. Not difficult to get to, just annoying to have to deal with because it's out of the way, and the only thing it leads to is an open treasure chest. It doesn't actually progress the dungeon at all. It took me longer than I should have to string those thoughts together. Okay, I can make this right there. Perfect. And we come up here, and this is actually looks more dangerous than it is, I feel. I think the game might be just taking pity on you at that point. But now we're done. And it may not look like we're done, but we're done. If I fail at the end here, then I will be sad, but not really surprised. It's kind of hubris, and it's been taking me over a lot. But this is a small tightrope that is really easy to walk. And I can even run across it and feel happy. And then I jump up, and I come over here, hit the button, and theoretically that button could be the split, but it's more traditional for all Pitioss runs to have the split be when you pick up the Black Hood. And there we are. 37:43. There's definitely enough time for improvement in there that it will not be difficult to... can I skip these? I can't skip these. That it won't be difficult to get that down to 30 minutes, actually. That would be fairly simple. In fact, you know what? Let's try it now. Alright, let's load. Load the Monster of the Deep save. Which, again, it's not the actual quest for this, but I liked the name of that quest for this save file, so that's what I said. And to get the correct name of the quest, that'll be difficult. Shenef, yeah, I'm going to do another run real quick. And by real quick, I mean hopefully in less than 30 minutes, but based on this time, probably less than 40. But yeah, I'm hoping, because there were a lot of kind of silly mistakes in that run, which I will probably make similar or different mistakes this time. But I'm hoping to get it down. Do I need to hit the reset button before I can just start the next run? I don't know. Probably? Yeah, sure, let's hit the reset button then. Let's go. Alrighty. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. At the very least, I will not miss this thing by messing with the timer again, because this time I have the timer set up properly in the first place. I will, however, for some reason, just completely miss the side of the wall. Whip, there we go. Actually, I just changed my mind. Not changed my mind. I am going to do this differently. And this will probably change a lot of a lot of how this works for me. I'm going to come to the main menu here because I have to in order to turn off the mod that is making Chibi Noctis the current player model, and just making everything a little bit more difficult, I think, because it's just bigger, more in the way of the camera a lot of the time. I don't think it actively affects the his ability to land on things, but I do think it's affecting my ability to see a lot of where he is, especially when he gets in the way of the camera in those few spaces. So let's go ahead, turn those off. I have turned those off. Let's get into the game. Get back into this game, I guess, to this load. See how we do. Bulky Noctis, yes. Not quite like Gladio, but I mean, they made Gladio a literal just triangle of a human in the chibi version, and that I realize that that's somebody's plutonic ideal of a muscled human, but boy howdy, does that look unhealthy. I can't imagine having to waist that tiny and arms that big. Seems like you would be constantly falling over. Alright. That's a trendy outfit that he's wearing? It is. Trendy outfit is fine. Alright. Let's do this again. Boop. And we come through here. It's interesting that I have a sum of best already when I don't even have a best. Well, that was silly of me.
Huh?
Should have just been patient on that one. Or when I haven't done more than one run, I guess is what I'm saying about the sum of best. Because I understand what it's trying to do. Take all of your best times and say if you get your best time on all of the things, here's what it could be. But that's not a thing that I've done yet. I have one completed run. Oh well. Boop. Boop. Nope. Nope. Missed that. Ah. That was... This is the one big time sink that I was hoping to avoid. Because I can. If I just don't do stupid, then I can get past this. Without having to take this whole long way around. You know what? We're only a minute in. Let's start over. Let's start over and not fail that one. And try and not have to take that back road and all the way back up. That's probably going to always be my biggest reset point of this. Because honestly, once I get past that first room, I won't care enough to try and start over again. I realize it's only like a minute or so difference beyond that into the next area, but I don't want to. I'm also looking at some of the time on these splits, and I could combine more things or split some things up more, but I kind of like where they are right now. To me, it feels like a perfectly logical progression of stuff. So again, I just kind of made up on my own where I wanted these things to be, and if there is a thought of a better way, then please do share them, because I'm by no means an expert in this. This is just what I wanted to run, so I had to come up with something. And initially I came up with just like complete joke names, and I was like, maybe other people might at some point theoretically want to run this, and so I should just come up with something more descriptive. Though, I guess anybody who wants to run this can put their splits wherever the heck they want, but I did purposely choose not to go for the jokes and go for some more descriptive split names instead. Alright, I think that's already one advantage to having regular Noctis rather than Chibified, is that spot there, I feel like because the Chibi version looks much bigger, but his hitbox I think is the same, I feel like that might be part of the reason why I missed that switch my last run.
Ah, d'accord.
Take the head, come over here, switch the camera angle around. Self whiplash. Come on up here. Again, this can't be what the original architects intended. To get through this door, you have to break the statue. Well, how does the next person get through the door? Don't worry about it. It's fine. But is it, though? I said it's fine. Okay.
Voilà.
That's a big personal bugbear I will always have with... I was jumping on that like it was already spinning. I forgot a step there. I will always have with video games that create ridiculous architecture just for the sake of it looking interesting. It's like, that's not practical. Maybe think about how actual human beings would ever have to use this space. And surprisingly, most of Final Fantasy 15 is actually fine in that regard. The architecture of the buildings, the way they're put together in the game is actually like, no, I can see how this would be used by human beings. Unlike other games where they just build whatever. Oh, yeah, that was way too late. It was like I was expecting it to stop for me, and it was like, I'm not the one that stops. I'm the one who knocks. Wait, no. I haven't ever actually watched that show. Alright, this one's stopping, which is a blessing and a curse, because it does mean that it'll have a slightly easier time. I should have had a slightly easier time aiming that. But it also means that it obviously moves slower as I go up. Let's... boop. There we are. Nope, nope, nope. Missed that. Got distracted. Got distracted, wasn't paying attention. Completely missed my window there. Is this guy slowing down? Feels like this guy might be slowing down. There it is. Boop. Okay, great. With that. So it took me a little bit longer to get through the ball that time than the first time, but overall I'm ahead because of not failing the first room so hard. Alright. Now, one thing that I will have as I come into the side rooms here is the skip in the fourth room being slightly simpler because I will be aiming at a different point. Thank you, Schneff. Shenef? Schneff? I don't names well. I don't names well at the best of times. Alright. Let's see if I can... Oh. Double dope. There we are. I have to get a bit of a running start on that one. But once we're past it, the rest of the room is relatively easier. Assuming that I don't fail. Oh, ooh, that was close. Oh, no! Oh, landed right on the spikes because they were still deployed. There we are. Ah. Now there are no more spikes, it's just actually jumping correctly and not falling to my death. Let's see how we do. Then we come across to this room. What? What was that? Why did that happen? I assume I got caught by an errant spike, but I thought I was definitely far enough out of the way for that to not be an issue. I don't know. It is kind of sad that the areas that I like the most are the ones that I'm already good at, which means that I get through them quicker and don't spend a lot of time there. Is this a jump? This is a jump. Okay. That might be how I have to do this next one. I think... I don't know. I think... based on my previous run that I might be able to get this first try if I do it right. Yes! Nice! That is the first time that I've hit that first try, and that makes me very happy. Because it means that I have, Because it means that I have a strategy now, where previously I just had blind hope. Okay, so what if I do just kind of take off this way, and... Nope, too soon. You also didn't see a spike there, yeah. It happens. Games have bugs. Final Fantasy 15 is definitely no exception to that. Perfect. Ah, nice. Very nice. Thank you again for that thought, that hint, that trick. Because boy howdy, is that going to make this whole room just much less painful in the future. Now, I thought these were evenly spaced out, but it appears not at all. Oh, no, why did I do that? That was just silly. That was just standing straight up and walking directly into a spike. And then failing that jump that I just said was much simpler. Which, admittedly, it is. I'm just, you know, getting ahead of myself a bit. Alright, wait for this to slowly come by. So, are there only 3 platforms? There may only be 3 platforms. Or there may actually be the 4 platforms that I thought. They're just not as close to each other as I felt like they were. Top right up on here, wait for it to come by. I do wonder why they put the hole in the middle of them there, though. Alright. Come up here. And again, we're in the slightly safer part of the room. As long as I don't miss these jumps, everything's good. Or I guess with the theory of positive reinforcement, when I make all of these jumps perfectly, we will be past this room. Which is a much different way of saying the same thing. I'm pleased with how quickly I was able to get that jump. Normally that takes me 2 or 3 tries. The fact that I got that first try is very nice. Because it didn't feel like a fluke. That felt like I knew what I was doing. Sometimes if it's first try, but it feels like a fluke, it's not as nice. It's like, well, I hope I get that again next time. But when it's first try and it feels like I knew what I was doing the entire time, which I assume is what speedrunning is supposed to be. Is all these things that feel like flukes the first time, you figure out how you did it, and then you do it again, and again, and again, and again. And everything just comes into place and feels amazing. Why? That was weird. That was a weird spot to be. For the camera to be. Not used to not being able to see where the legs are, which is kind of an essential point of a platformer. See where you can put the legs. I might be able to make that if I try harder. I can definitely make this, though. This is easy to make. So yeah, this is the specific spot that I was thinking about when I switched to regular Noctis, because the camera it works so much nicer there when I don't have a giant character model. Imagine, the game works when it's using the models that it was built with, rather than something that you mod in, even if it is an official mod. I don't think I'm gonna get this first cycle. Oh, maybe. Aha, I did. This is where I always tense up, as I mentioned earlier, because I have failed right here, which is really annoying because it's... Don't! Jinxed it. And I didn't open up any of the side passages either, so I had to go all the way through this again. I want there to be a way that I can get there fast enough that I don't have to wait for it to come back and forth. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. 4-minute split on the side rooms. I didn't even notice that. Is fantastic. Again, thank you very much for the different way of thinking. That basically is the only reason that that is as short as it is, and not just a series of me trying and failing to get that. I love this hand here, because it's almost just here so that you can't try and jump over, and you know that you can't try and jump over because it'll just knock you clean out. You have to wait for this to come back and take this little beam across. That's probably why it is there, is they found that in testing this, a lot of people are like, I should be able to jump across this. Why can't I jump across this? Well, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to take this thing around. Let's make that more obvious by putting a hand here that's just like, nope, denied. Alright. I didn't open the face door again, so I hope that that won't be an issue. Not I hope. I should be, again, the power of positive thinking. Oh, I shall complete this time. It will gladly be completed. I just need to do a little less falling off of ledges. It'll be great. Let's jump for that ledge. There. And I can open this door so that if something happens, which, let's be honest, I'm really good at making things happen. I actually have no idea what I meant with that. Yeah. So I am eating away at any, at whatever, time, well, advantage I had by having to do that room twice, but it's kind of the way speedrunning works, it seems. Get gold splits some places, and get really bad red splits others, and it all evens out in the end. Here, wait for the whole thing to come back. Nope. Oh, good heavens. I thought that I had gone way too soon there. I am really glad that that worked as well as it did.
Ça fait quoi là? Comment je fais pour revenir?
All right. Still 3 minutes ahead of the last one, which is good. Hoping I can make it up in here, actually, because I feel like I had a stumble in here the first time. I feel like I might have had 2 in here the first time. Which, this room is odd. The perspective does scary and annoying things to your eyes. But once you have the route in mind, once you know what the route is, I feel like it's fairly straightforward. Just have to, obviously, you know, not fall. Or one just has to. I just have to. I find that I use the you pronoun far too often. I'm actively trying to avoid that. Because, well, most people understand what it means. It's still just kind of, in general, bad taste to ascribe thoughts, feelings, and motivations onto the listener that they themselves don't have. Nope, don't fall. Okay, we're good. Come up here, and down into here, down around here, here, Oh, nope. Slipped it. Dang. Doing so good. And just kind of lost sight for a second. Now, there was that face door there that would help skip a chunk of this, but it's just so darn far out of the way that I think it's honestly faster to just have to redo it in the case of a fall. Like, I'm fairly certain the face door is just on the other side of this. I think if I come down this way, that's where the door is. I found it once, and that's the only time I ever cared to find it. Because, again, it's so far out of the way that one doesn't come across it in the regular traversal of this room. Oh, be careful there. Moving nice and slow, except when you suddenly don't, and that scares me, Noctis. I'm not gonna lie. It is strange how... Oh, well, that's just annoying and sad. It is kind of strange, the relationship between the player and Noctis in this, because he is definitely his own character. There are sure sometimes when there are some dialogue choices that can be made that might inform kind of what parts of his character, but in general he just is who he is. And so although we control him throughout the entirety of Final Fantasy XV, we don't have direct control of anybody else. We don't even have we don't have really any control of anybody else. I guess we can tell the boys when to use their techniques, but that's about it. But it's clear that Noctis is not you, the player. He's not an empty slate that the player can draw themselves into. He is his own character, his own person. And so it almost feels like controlling him in general, you're just issuing suggestions and hoping he follows them, and most of the time he does, and then sometimes he just randomly takes a step that you weren't expecting and falls off a ledge. I find it works the same for me in combat as well. I'm really bad at combat in this game, Final Fantasy XV combat. Part of the reason that I don't... I'm not actively looking to speed run the game proper, because the combat in it is a level of exactness that I just don't understand. And so I just kind of hammer the attack button and hope that Noctis kills the thing that I'm pointing him at. Which, you know, is effective enough, I guess. Alright, split. Not entirely sure where the light's supposed to be coming from here. Obviously, yes, there's a flashlight that he's wearing that's producing some light. But there's also obviously light coming from other places. Like, that flashlight is not lighting up the entire left side of the screen at the moment. So what is? I don't know. I'm probably thinking too much into it. I have a tendency to do that. But like I said, architecture and such in these games is something I think about quite often. Alright, let's not fumble at the end here. Nope, fumbled at the end. Maybe I shouldn't say anything and then I'll be less likely to. I don't know. Get up, get up, get up. Nope, not fast enough. Wait for a full rotation here. It is a weird thing how cycle-based this game, this dungeon is, and yet how little control you have over making those cycles because of the recovery animation whenever Noctis falls too far. There, made that. Got caught up in the same spot as last time though, so. Gold split though, that's still nice. Basically the exact same timing as last time, that doesn't surprise me. But if I get this in one, because last run there were just two stupid mistakes that I had it the first time, and then I made a kind of silly mistake. And then the second time, I, again, don't really know what was going on there. But not having to go through this 3 times should make up quite a bit of time for us here. Oop, let's not fall.
Mais c'est n'importe quoi!
One of like 3 spaces where Noctis actually talks. Which is part of what makes this dungeon so interesting, is it's just so atmospheric. Or that the atmosphere, I guess it's not atmospheric because there's no atmosphere. The atmosphere is null. The atmosphere is made entirely of the grinding of whatever machinery there is and the music that plays, with sometimes some input from Noctis. Which I guess is atmospheric in its own way. It's kind of a very lonely atmosphere, which you don't find elsewhere in the game. Because elsewhere in the game, you're surrounded by your friends. Or Noctis is surrounded by his friends, however you want to think about it. I'm going to just kind of hang out here on her shoulder, because if I try and move right now, I will probably fall off and end up having to redo everything again. Why am I faced this way? Come down. You try and take this as in the middle as possible. Nice. Another gold split. 2 minutes faster than the previous. Very nice. 2.5 minutes faster than previous. This makes me happy. So let's see how quickly I can do scaffold here. Because it's definitely not my most clean. Which is that? Oh, the fall into the elevator seems risky because it takes nearly all of the health out. Yeah. But that is the way the dungeon is designed, and I feel like they designed the fall damage there so that rather than an actual number, it's always going to be a percentage, a high percentage of your health. Because that is... yeah, the slide into the drop, yeah. So that is definitely working as intended. It just seems like the intention, you're right, the intention there is definitely meant to make you feel in danger. Your health is not safe. Alright. That was a first try scaffold, which I believe is the first time I've ever done that, and that makes me really happy. 54 seconds faster than the previous. Let's not wander off in the wrong direction. We need to go over here. So this is the area that the any percent can get to ahead of time by using the movement exploits, and then uses a couple other things to get from here immediately to the end without having to traverse the other 2 or 3 pads that I'm going to be hitting. What was fun there is, out of the corner of your eye, or out of the corner of my eye, I guess, I could see the next two pads I need to hit. The white pad that opens up the platform that gets to the orange pad that is the next one that we're supposed to hit. And you just kind of have to leave them behind because you can't quite reach them yet. Now, theoretically, there are actually multiple skips that could skip this entire section of the dungeon up in here. But this is one of my favorite spots in the dungeon, as I think I mentioned earlier. Probably, again, because I've put so much time into getting it correct. And so I don't want to skip it, which is part of why I consider it, its own room, its own space, apart from the kind of this space here, which is the upper space of this other room. Because if I consider it that way, then when I'm doing an all rooms run, I have to go in there. And I want to go in there anyway, so build a category that takes me in there. Alright, let's see if I can land this and not jump off of it. Nice. Nice. That'll save me a ton of time. Assuming, again, that I don't just completely flub up. Right there. Completely flub up right there. Basically. That was the only option, and boy howdy did I just absolutely 100% take it. Oh, bother. A lot of backtracking now.
Trop facile. Trop facile. Trop facile.
Basically, what I'm learning is that I have a tendency to jinx myself, and I should just kind of keep my mouth shut sometimes. And, you know, I'll probably be happier for it. Or I just need to find other backups that aren't just going back and redoing this whole section. Like, there probably is something that could be done. But this is the only way I've ever found to get up on this door. Which again is the only way I've ever found to get... Oh, no. Well, that was annoying. Well, dang it. I'm just unhappy now. Again, that door is... This is the only path I've ever found to get on top of that door, which is the only path I've ever found to get to the orange button. That is the next one I need to press. Button, plate, sigil, whatever. Button actually seems more accurate than plate. Even though they are quite large. Nope. What's that? Interesting. This is what happens when I get flustered. I start... Nope. Start misclicking and not being able to control things properly. Alright. So I'm really pleased that I was able to make the jump onto that button all 3 times, and that what's been tripping me up hasn't been that jump, because I'm real bad at that jump. Or I have in the past had issues with that jump. I guess is how I should say that. And so not having issues with that jump is really nice. Now this is the intended route, and I almost wonder it's faster to go an unintended route, because there is another way to get onto these pillars here. In fact, there's a way to get onto them early, but because, again, that whole area that I don't want to skip, I don't take it. I'm not currently taking it, I guess I should say. When did I get over here? Not entirely sure. Now I can come on up here, over here, over here, over here, here. Hit this button, ride the elevator up. It's daytime because that's just kind of the way this save works. Pick that up, and that's it. Ow. 5 minutes, 15 seconds faster, which is for the second full second timed run of that, to just take 5 minutes clean off immediately. That feels good to me.
Si, mais c'était un truc de fou. Ah, je suis trop crevé. Bravo. Tu as mérité de te reposer.
They're supposed to be back in my group, but are they? I don't see them. Oh, they're all down there. Hi, boys. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. This couple of hours, that's good. Two really good runs in to kind of set a watermark for me. Some of best is, oh wow, yeah, some of best is down to 25. Nice. I can probably push the sub 20 then without too much work. I mean, not without too much work, with a lot of work, but just do a whole lot less failing or falling, a whole lot less falling, and yeah, I can have the sub 20 soon. Actually, that makes me happy. Yes, at some point reaching the sum of best will become impossible, just because that's life. But yeah, sub 20 is definitely going to be doable. Well, that is amazing. This makes me happy. This is actually, I was expecting to get, honestly, I was expecting to kind of be like 40, 45 for my first run and kind of be around there. The fact that I'm already nearly sub 30, which was, it was my starting goal, and it's still currently my goal. Until I hit that, that's going to be my goal, is getting sub 30 in that. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy. But that's also going to be the end of my stream. I really want to thank you, Shanef, for joining me in chat and words of encouragement and giving really good ideas for skips. And I'm going to have to look into that momentum saving with the respawn. See if there's any place that can be exploited. I'm also going to spend some time and see what other people have done. See if I can find some runs from before the entity percent became again that 2 minutes. Some runs that are skipping other things, and see if any of those skips are ones that I want to steal and incorporate. Definitely want to practice the stamina skip, I guess is what I'm going to call it. The stamina boost probably is a better name for it, where you just run out of stamina and then use that to jump through. Guy used that in the statue room to just get it down to like 30 seconds in there total, and that's amazing. So I want to steal that, or find that, use that. But yeah, that's gonna be the end for me. Thank you all for watching. I say you all because I am going to archive this on YouTube as well. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, have a good one.